We are back earlier than ever, so I'm hoping our favorites come in and our regulars come in because it is a big show. This is actually Fuck Your Feelings 175th show. I
Oh,
cannot believe I've done 175 shows since the beginning of this. It's the end of season 7, episode 25. I'm truly, truly excited that I'm still here,
and
still doing it, despite all the changes that happened in my life in the last few years. And again, I thank Twin for joining me on this journey. But how you been, buddy? Like I've missed you. What's going on in your life?
I'm been good. Last week was a good little break for both of us. It seems like I went on vacation last week, so
Love that for you.
the first thing I did the last day of work before I even left work, I went to my clock alarm and turned all my alarms off.
Yep,
My wake up
yep.
alarm, my lunch alarm, off, off, off. Everything's off because I still got up early, but not that early like we talked about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
love that for you.
yeah, we did a lot of things. Travel, went to, little cabin out here in Georgia, out in Blue
Love it.
Ridge, did a train ride. Man, did some housework. Painted, get the porch painted, deck stained, all
Not
that stuff.
painted.
Put down
Wow.
put down some pavers, go around the back entrance. Yeah, got a lot of stuff done in the house. Just some stuff to be thrown out. So, you know, I feel like I need 2 weeks, but that week was nice. I enjoyed it. We had a good time, and here we are.
See, that's the difference between men and women. When you said housework, I expected you cleaned up a little bit. You said painted the porch,
Yeah,
stained the porch. I clean and sweep and do the baseboards, and I'm not painting ish. So I'm not doing painting. What on a week off you painted? You went to a cabin, you painted
no,
and stained the porch? No,
no,
that's,
and put
that's a lot.
and put down pavers. And for people who do yard work, the pavers was a big square, but it's a brick, and they're 88 pounds. So we had to do like 3 trips because we didn't have enough. So we damn near bought a whole pallet. I think a pallet has 28 bricks. We bought 25 bricks.
No, thank you.
Bricks. Oh, my.
No, thank you.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah.
Hi, Jeff. Good evening. It was on us. I've been off since last week. So the reason we didn't have a show last week, those of you who don't know, I actually had surgery last week. I'm still recovering. I had fibroid surgery. And so last week I was very much in bed. This week I should probably be in bed, but who wants to just be laying in bed? I was telling twins I got off the medication after day 2 because I don't do drugs, and I definitely wasn't doing opiates like that. It was too much. I was like, I don't know how people want to feel like this. Like, I think to do. But I have slept and I have tried to relax. And unlike you twins, I did turn off my alarm. But what I also did is I removed my work email from my phone. So the as soon as I log out, remove, remove. I remove. As soon as I log out, I remove.
Now
Mm-mm. Don't
that's something
email me.
I didn't do. I did get a few messages,
Yep. Mm-mm.
but they're like Dwayne, can you look at this? I'm like, I'm not in the office.
Don't,
Check
don't
with the
email me.
others. It's like, well,
You're
stop
lucky. I said,
the email. I said, I know.
no. I said, y'all are dead to me. Leave me be. I left clear instructions of everything that needed to be done, everything that needed to be left behind. My coordinator has my schedule. She can go in and book meetings while I'm gone, and I can come back and she'll have to give me a rundown of what I missed. But I didn't want nobody bothering me because I knew I was going to be pissed off.
Oh,
I knew I was going to be pissed off if I got like one message. So I'm going to be going back to work next Wednesday, and I'm already hyping myself up.
oh, well, make sure you have your. Do you drink coffee?
I do not. I drink a tea, peppermint tea or green. I'm switching to green tea
Peppermint,
more.
yes. Well, make sure you have a
Peppermint
big
tea.
glass of peppermint going in and going early because you're gonna have 1,000 emails.
I'm ready for it. And I'm the person who finishes my emails in that one day. I don't like to log off and the emails because I want to catch up. I want to make a note of anything that I need to do. Like I cannot stand it. But you are right. I'm actually going to. I have to join the gym again. It's been a while since I've joined the gym. I have to join the gym. I have to make some like clear lifestyle changes. So I'm gonna literally changing up my routine over the next little bit, which I'm actually very excited to. I'm going back to a routine I had like years ago where I woke up, went to the gym at like 6 o'clock in the morning because I prefer that. I don't want to go to the gym after. I know for some women they're there to catch men and they go when most of the men are there. No, seriously, a lot of us go to catch men. And listen, I feel them. Like I like to catch a man at the gym too. At the end of the day, you're with a man who has common interests, but my man should also be an early riser at 6 a.m. Like,
Well, just know,
somewhere between 6 and 7:30.
just know, I used to go to the gym early in the morning. So the morning people who go to the gym, men or women, we're focused. We're in there for a
Yeah,
reason. We
yeah,
gotta pray,
yeah.
we gotta shower, and we gotta go to work. We ain't got time
I
always
gotta go work. Yeah, 6 and 7:30. If
right,
my man is going to 6, 7:30, that's my window. Not
right.
an AM, not PM. I'm not going 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I'm going from 6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. So to your point, I can get out of there, get myself back, sit at my desk, do everything I need to do. I still write in the morning, like I do all that. So I'm changing up my entire routine because I went on the scale and I was like, "You're a heifer." Like I don't own a scale. I haven't owned a scale in years. I had to buy this really cool scale. I'm actually going to pitch it from Amazon called the Renpo. It comes with an app, and you
I got
connect the
it.
app.
I
You
got it.
got it right. It is the best thing I have bought
It told
in
me everything.
years.
Mhm.
Everything. So now I am going pescatarian, which I was a pescatarian for 4.5 years. And if you don't know what pescatarian is, it means that you only eat fish and basically vegetables. You don't eat any meat, so no meat like chicken, turkey, steak, anything. So July 1st, I'm going back pescatarian because red meat and stuff like actually feeds fibroids. Even though the ones that I have, and there were seven of them, the biggest one was like this big, like the size of a fist.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awful. But it doesn't mean that they can't grow
Come
back. And so
right.
I have to do everything in my power to make sure I don't have to go through this again. So I have to make some major lifestyle change. Plus, I also went on the scale and I was like, "You're a heifer." Like Kevin Samuel's voice was in my head. Like I was like, "You are," and you cannot tell because clearly people see me in pictures standing up. I guess to other people's eyes, they're like, "Oh my God, no, girl, you're fine." No, the scale was like, "Heifer, you will never get a man." That's what the scale said. So I said, "It's okay, it's okay. I'm going to do better." So I'm going to do better. So you guys have to keep me accountable. I'm not going to tell you how much weight I need to lose because I'm not going to reveal that. But I'm going to do like a whole update and be on the Renpo app and be like doing my thing. Like I'm
Don't worry. I'm gonna
ready.
keep you
I'm going
accountable
to do
then.
this.
I'm gonna keep you accountable then.
Thank you. Heifer. Okay? Like, thank God I'm cute. I was like, thank God face card doesn't decline because when I go on my mother-daughter vacation that I do in February, like I'm gonna be ready for these beach. Don't like I'm gonna be ready. They're gonna mom who? Mom where? Like that's right. Anyways, enough of that. Thank you everybody for joining. So we are doing a Q&A session, and I had put some questions, some things out, and some people did send me some questions. I said I was going to be answering them. Some of them are a little sensitive, but I am going to answer them anyways. And of course, those of you online can ask me and twins any question that you would like. I am an open book. Again, this is the 175th show of Fuck Your Feelings. And for those of you who joined kind of in the middle, this show first started with me and my now ex fiance. And it was a journey of our relationship and different relationship topics. And this was back in September of 2001. And that relationship came to an end almost 2 years ago. June 30th will be 2 years. 2 years ago, and then Twins kindly stepped in and became my co-host because when I was doing it by myself, I just felt like I was talking into the abyss. So thank God for twins, and we've kept it trucking and kept it rolling. So yeah, so for those who have been with us since the beginning, and those were my Instagram people, they sent a couple of questions. I'm going to actually look to see if there are any more questions. So they, sent me a couple of questions because they knew about the evolution and the start of this show, and so I'm going to go ahead and answer some of their questions. But if any of you want to come on, as usual, the link is in the comment section. It's pinned at the top. Feel free to come on. It doesn't have to be questions about us personally. It can just be questions overall about dating, relationships, marriages, even though we're both divorced. We've both clearly been married. Anything that you want our opinion on. One thing I do want to talk about, and I know you don't watch this show, but you might watch the clip. Pop the balloon.
Yeah, I've seen many videos of it. So yeah.
So there is going to be a clip, if it already hasn't blown up while I was sleeping today. It will blow up tonight or tomorrow. There was a clip from yesterday's show. There was a moment with a contestant. I'm going to call them contestants for the lack of things. So there was a gentleman who came on. It was a lineup of women, and a gentleman came on. And as usual, the host will ask, why are you not attracted to someone? And he happened to say that it's because he prefers a woman with long hair.
Yeah, I seen. Yep. Mm-hmm. I seen that little clip.
And all of the women popped, but one woman in particular went off. Off. Now, these were the same women, by the way, who told him they didn't like the way he dressed, they didn't like his pants, they didn't like his shoes, they didn't like that they felt that they could hear him walking in because they didn't like his shoes. The same women who come on, and as women, we want a man who's taller, we want a man with more finances. One woman told another man who just graduated from being an anesthesiologist that he was not financially stable for her. She was a paralegal. She told an anesthesiologist, because he just graduated. The man graduated and was going into his job. This is a high six-figure earning job, even straight out of school. As someone who just had surgery, trust me, my anesthesiologist was a huge part of my surgery. Okay, that's the person who's got to monitor to me, make sure that I'm good, all of those things. They are a huge part of that surgery. And she told an anesthesiologist on the same episode he wasn't financially stable for us. Anyways, going back to this, I just find it interesting that as women, we are allowed to literally dog you men out. I don't like your height. I don't like your bald head. I don't like your locks. I don't like your braids. Why are you a 40-year-old man? Why are you wearing braids? I like a clean cut. Your pants are too tight. Oh, I don't like your shirt. Me and your style, I'm not catching a vibe. I don't feel like. But a man said innocently, you know what? I prefer women with long hair. This woman went off and said, I bet your mama has short hair. She called out this man's mama. And when he said, actually, I have a picture of my mom right now on my necklace, she indeed does not have short hair. Completely ignored that and went off about all black women have short hair. I just, for the record, this might not be mine growing out of my scalp, but I don't actually have short hair. I have cut my hair short, but I come from a line of women with long hair. I've had long hair to the middle of my back. And she went on to say, black women have short hair, and how dare you disrespect every black woman by saying you prefer short hair, and maybe you just need to tell us that you like Becky with the good hair. And she went off on this man. And so on behalf of women, I'm going to apologize. You are allowed to have your preferences. You are allowed to like what you like and tell us what you do not like. If you want a woman with short hair, spiky hair, green hair, pink hair, if you want a woman who is 5'5" on 135 pounds, if you want a woman with a small booty, if you want a woman with a big booty, if you want a woman with small breasts, big breasts, if you want an athletic woman, if you prefer a plumper woman, if you want a woman more educated woman, if you want a woman who just graduated high school, you are allowed to have those preferences, and don't let us heifers tell you any differently. That's it. That's my PSA.
So when it comes to pop the balloon show,
Ridiculous.
it's I don't believe people are going there genuine trying to find a good healthy relationship, right? Not gonna say true love. I ain't gonna say husband wife. A true relationship. People now are going on our show to hope to go viral, to hope to become a influencer or TV reality. You know what I'm saying? Because you think about the plumber guy. Once he blew up, he on this TV show now. He's doing this. He's getting the bag now, right? So now a lot of people are doing stuff intentionally just so they can go viral and become somebody. So, so that show, I really don't take it serious anymore. I mean, I never took it serious anyway. It's entertaining, especially when I'm at work all day. Put something on, want to laugh, whatever. But some of the things like the women say, I don't like your clothes, I don't like your shirt, I don't like your shoes. Those things can be changed. So the fact that, think about it. Like most women that I deal with, if they don't like something I wear, they will buy my whole wardrobe. And
did it with my ex.
Right. And whatever they buy, I'm gonna wear it. Now, of course, I'm have colors I don't wear. Like, hey, I don't wear that. I ain't wear no super tight green down there, right? But some reason, if you gonna buy it, I'll wear it. I got a whole summer wardrobe my girl bought me because she didn't like what I had before. I don't care. I had to pay for it. So the point that they be nitpicking about clothing, that's so it's so minor because those things you can change. Now you can't change height, right? Can't change weight, but clothes and stuff, and then of course it shows that lady, the one you just talked about, she's not educated. Because if she was educated, she's a paralegal. Yeah, she's not even a real attorney. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Not a real lawyer. Not a real lawyer.
I could pay to be a prepaid legal service. You know what I mean? Anybody can be pre-legal. That's nothing. I don't take much effort. So what we talking about? But she wasn't educated to know that the guy that she talking about is not financially stable. She don't know. But in this era that we're in, the ladies want the quick money. They want the fast money. They want the men that's already there already. That's the problem. Because he just graduated and get into his profession. That's why she's kind of saying, well, you're not financially ready because she knows he probably want college debt, right? All that money. So she's probably thinking about that, but she wasn't educated. That's all.
She's not smart.
No, she wasn't.
He literally was like, I can, whatever I.
You said it's not smart. I'm saying she just wasn't educated.
No, she's not stupid. She's stupid. I'm Jamaican. We do that. She's stupid. The man literally looked at her and said, whatever I make this year, I can literally pay all of my debt. Everything. He can pay all his debt. So even if he decided, you know what, I'm going to pay over my debt over 4 years, he takes whatever percentage and then saves it. 4 years he could be debt free. What are we talking about? Like what? And she wasn't even cute. I'm sorry, like she wasn't even cute.
Those be the ones.
She was bad built. I mean, I'm heavy because I look at heifer, but I'm not bad built. I'm built well. I'm built like a stallion. Okay, I'm just saying. I know you guys see me sitting here, but I'm built well. Look at my Instagram page.
I didn't watch the full. I didn't watch the full interview of that one, but the lady who said the guy that wasn't financially stable, did she say how many kids she had, or it didn't get that far?
Luckily, they actually was a child-free lineup. I've been seeing more and more of that, men and women, child-free lineup, but she was still bad built. And I think when you're bad built and you haven't had a child, you don't have no excuse.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
No kids.
What's up?
Why? Okay.
It was the whole. So it just. Anyways, I brought this up just to say, like, dating is not this difficult. It's really not this difficult. And I felt the same way. These people are now looking for viral moments. And I think what a lot of women, what the sisterhood has done is failed a lot of women. And I thought that woman thought she was going to have such a moment, and black women in the comments and around the world was like, yes, girl. It was quite the opposite. I watched the show 2 hours after it posted. It had thousands of comments. And for once, I can say black women came together and said, nah, sis, we're not going to do this. What you're not going to do is shame a man for saying his preference when all y'all are up there talking about you don't like a man's height, weight, hairline, and everything else. You're being ridiculous. Then she went on to say, and then she insulted us as black women by saying, if we do have long hair, it's thin. Like any black woman out here actually has long hair. You're coveting long hair, but they've got thin hair. My mama owns a salon and they're walking around with thin hair. And I was like, so you're protecting us and insulting us in the same sentence. So we, as black women, we like what, like who hurt you? So like she was triggered.
That's right. That's the word. She was just triggered.
It's awful. It's an awful moment.
And it's sad too because a lot of the younger generation watched that show. So these young men are paying attention, and you think it's cute and funny, but the ones who have a little brain, like this is what they are. So even me having this top career that I'm about to be on is still not enough.
Anesthesiologist. And I was like in the comments, I literally said, it's okay if you don't know what an anesthesiologist is. Like, ask questions. Maybe she didn't know what an anesthesiologist is, and it's ANAESTHOLOGIST, if I got that right. Anesthesiologist. Anyway, like growing up. Anyways, so right, like just say, you know what? You said you're going to be an anesthesiologist. Can you let me know more about that? Right, like what's your career trajectory? Like, ladies, if you want to sneakily ask a man how much money he makes and how far it can go, ask him what his career trajectory is. What's your career trajectory in this? Like, what does that mean? You know, ask those questions, and you will find out how much somebody makes. Or when you're done, go Google anesthesiologist, and it will tell you over the years how much money they make. And I think first year he could make, depending on the state he's in, like 200 grand. Just first year. Fresh. This man was in his 20s, late 20s. What are we talking about? And he's not. You're a paralegal. You're the person the real lawyers dump work on to sit and muddle through it for a quarter of their salary. Anyway, I am having a moment, but I digress. Okay, just to say, I think a lot of those women on that show just pop the balloon just because they do. Yeah. There's a lot of insecurity. What I've noticed is there's a lot of insecurity that comes out in women. Oh, my headset's already died. There's a lot of insecurity that comes out in a lot of the women on the show, and there's a lot of projection. I know projection when I see it. I have a psychology degree. I studied this for years, and I just study human behavior. There's a when women. Oh, here we go. Hold on, guys, and it's dying again. Hold on. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So hold on. Let me put this out. So it might be. Hopefully, there's no echo. Sorry, I did not charge this properly, and it shows. We're gonna go.
You good. Right now, you're not echoing. You're good right now.
That happens, I think, on these shows, Jeff, especially as women, because a lot of us have a lot of insecurities. And again, as women, we're judged based on our beauty. You guys are judged based on your finances. We're judged based on our beauty. That's just the way the world is. So I could not imagine standing there and having somebody pop on you just because of physical appearance before you even open your mouth. It's an awful thing, but there's a lot of projection, and a lot of women are showing how unhealed they are because there's no way. Certain comments that men have said, simply saying, "Oh no, because the host asked." Like, it's not like the people are volunteering. It's that the host asked, like, "Oh, so why aren't they your type?" And it's okay. Or I like taller men. Women, we say that all the time. The short kings get no love on that show.
Zero. It is very rare to see a shorter guy under 6. Even guys 6 feet are called out. It is rare to see a guy under like 6'2" get like a ton of love on that show. Even a guy who's 6 feet, women are questioning him. Are you sure you're 6 feet? Women have actually looked at men. Are you sure you're 6 feet? Like, this is how ridiculous that show is. Anyways, I digress. This is what the show is supposed to be about, but I think it is an indicator of everything that's wrong with dating today. And but God bless Arlette and BM, because they've taken this and they got a Netflix show. They've been around for 2 years. They have a Netflix deal. They're doing their thing. And so as creators, even though they're not the only Pop the Balloon show, they are the Pop the Balloon show. You know what I'm saying? Like, different people are trying to do it, but none have done it like them. For them to parlay that into a Netflix show, like, that's no joke. Netflix went calling for them because of everything that they've done. But I think it's just showing a lot of things within, especially the Black community, because it is a Black show. What's wrong with dating? But I digress. Anyways, I just wasted a lot of time, so I can now get into some of these questions I was asked. Before I go into any of those questions, I am curious to know if people would like to know. I know Twins and I have in the show, we talk about things that are impacting Black relationships as a whole. But do you guys want to see more behind the scenes of my life in particular? Twins is a little bit more private than I am. But do you want to see more behind the scenes of our life as we talk about our dating and relationship journeys on our way back to marriage? Which, please, God, please, I'm actually going to answer a question. I'm going to tell you a question that somebody asked. But let us know if you want to see more of that. Also, Twins, what you did know is people are asking us to bring the show back to Instagram. And so I'm trying to figure out a way that we can simultaneously cast to Instagram and to YouTube. The great thing about Instagram is that's where all the women are. Women viewers are actually on Instagram, and all our male viewers are on YouTube. So if I can combine the two, there has been, I put it up today, and overwhelmingly 100% of people who respond were like, yes, they want us to bring the live show back to Instagram. So I'm going to have to do some research over the next little bit to figure out, without putting up 2 different phones like we used to do back in the day, how can we push it out and get us back on Instagram so we can get that done. So there's that. Let us know, people. Let us know. Anyhow, let me go to the questions. The first questions that I was asked, and then I will open up. Twins, if you want to ask me a question, and I'll ask you a question, and then we'll go from that. So the first question that I was asked on Instagram, and this is going to be a very vulnerable moment for me, is my biggest fear. So you guys are all going to find out what my biggest fear is. So my biggest fear is dying alone. My biggest fear is that I have mismanaged my patty woo-ha, and the mismanagement of my patty woo-ha is that I am going to end up dying alone. And I mean alone, uncoupled. I clearly have a daughter, and so I am, in some people's mind, never alone, but it is not my daughter's responsibility to take care of me. I think I've said this on the show before. I did not have her so she can turn around and take care of me. I had her so that I could build a generation of better human beings, okay? So that is the biggest fear that I have. And sometimes, I won't lie, it paralyzes me. It paralyzes me. And when I say it out loud, I think a lot of people, I've gotten a couple of like snickers, and people like, girl, you're gonna be fine, you're pretty, like, you're not gonna die alone. Well, pretty people die alone all the time. And that, like, my looks have nothing to do with my ability to die alone or not die alone. Like, so it is my biggest fear, and I am trying to figure out a way to ensure that doesn't happen. I know that I have to be better in relationships. I will own that I have to be better in relationships in certain regards. I think I've done a lot of internal work to make sure that I'm a good partner, but I know that there's some ways that I definitely fail being a partner, but like I am in a really interesting phase because I thought I'd be remarried by the time I was 40. And then I pushed it to 45 and I got real close. My wedding was supposed to be a month before my 45th birthday. I was like this close. And then that didn't happen. And I'm pushing 46 in November. And so my biggest fear, long story now, is that I die alone. What is yours? What's your biggest fear, twins?
Yeah, I was going to piggyback that off it as well. For me, is dying before my kids become adults. Yeah,
That's a big one.
My dad. My dad died when I was 15. Right. So the major part of my life of being a young man, being a teenager, being a teenager and going to manhood, right? I had to freestyle those things. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have my father figure to guide me through those things, right? So, yeah. So that would be my biggest fear. So, I would love to live a long age to see my grandbabies, right? For sure. But dying before my kids hit the adulthood so I can teach them about life, that's probably my own biggest fear. It's not being when they need me the most. Teaching them real life skills because they're still kids and stuff I tell them now, going one ear out the air. You tell them to trash out 5 minutes later, they're trashing out because they forgot. So they're not going to remember anything I tell them now. But when they get older, they start going through relationships. They learn about finances for real, credits, all that stuff they don't teach you in school. That's where the parents come in at. And that's where, I pray I could be around to give them all the knowledge that I have, the knowledge that, see, it's a benefit. So the fact that I didn't have my dad during that time frame, I know what to do with my kids when they get to that age. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that will be my biggest fear there. So, I take care of my health so I could live to be 80 plus, 90 plus. So yeah, that's it.
And I can appreciate that. And I think maybe that's even a part. I mean, the fact that I didn't want to have multiple kids is also why I didn't have multiple kids. But it was the idea that if I did have multiple kids and they're different ages, it's like, no matter what it is, like there's still that fear of like, am I going to be around to see them through their early years, right? My daughter's 23 now, and I still have that moment. Like when I was going into surgery, I won't lie, I had a fear I wasn't going to wake up. I had a huge fear I wasn't going to wake up from surgery, like a humongous fear. And I started thinking, okay, do I have enough insurance for her? Like, what, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh frick, I don't have the insurance thing, and I got to call the insurance company to get the insurance, so just in case, anything happens, she knows like what to do. Did I do enough? Like, it was like this weirdest moment. And of course, hallelujah, I live in North America, so healthcare system's pretty good in Canada, but still there was just this huge, overwhelming fear that I may not wake up, and what I do, like missing my grandkids and all of that stuff. So I completely get it. Well, Jeff just called you out. He said, twins behind the scenes might be a rendition of How to Be a Player.
Whatever. Behind the scenes.
Too funny. Let us know. I don't think so. I think Twins is quite the family man. I think you guys would be surprised. I think Twins is a lot more of a family man than I think you guys are giving him credit for. Mine might be
I'm definitely a family man. I'm a flirt though too. I ain't gonna lie. I'm definitely a flirt.
I love that for you.
Be entertaining. I'll tell you that.
I love that for you. I definitely think we need to do a little bit more behind the scenes, and maybe I need to start talking about like dates that I go on, which are non-existent. I don't really go on dates, but I digress. So this is a two-part question, and I'm going to answer it, even though it's really for Instagram. I'm going to answer it and put it on Instagram. So it's a two-part question. The first part of the question is, are you still in love with Rob? That is my ex.
They went to the nitty gritty on that one.
And the next part of the question was, have you spoken to Rob since you broke up? So I'm going to answer the first part of the question. Yes, I would be lying if I said I wasn't. Yes, I am still in love with Rob. We were together for almost 3 years. We spent over 2 years living together. We were in each other's space. Like that's the type of love that you don't just get over. And when people say, "Oh, I love someone, but I'm completely over them," to me, that was not being in love. Like I've loved people, but I was in love with Rob. And I still very much am in love with Rob. Would we ever get back together? You know why we couldn't ever, like ever in life, get back together. But no, absolutely, I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't. Have I spoken to Rob since we broke up? No, we had one conversation about how we were going to move on with our individual lives and about the show and what needed to happen. And that was like on July the 2nd. We broke up officially June the 30th, 2023. And our last conversation was July the 2nd, 2023. And we wished each other the best. And we made a decision that we should not speak because we did not think it was fair to our potential new partners that we continue to communicate, especially because we have so much evidence of our relationship all over these internets. And we just both made that decision that if we were gonna let go, we really needed to let go, and so we did. And so here we are. Would I pick up the phone if he called me to say hello? Absolutely. Did I block his number? Absolutely not. I don't believe in just blocking numbers. I think the fact that I didn't block his number and we haven't reached out meant that we respected the decision that we both made. But absolutely, if he were to call me, email me, send me a message, I would absolutely respond. That's someone I'm not gonna I'll never stop loving that man, because when you have that type of love, it just doesn't go away. But I wouldn't risk a new relationship for him. Absolutely not. So there's that. That was very vulnerable of me. Oh, thank you for listening. So there you go, Instagram. Now, Facebook, you guys don't care that much, but Instagram sure did want to know about him. We digress. We move on.
Your TED Talk. It's okay.
My TED Talk. I believe in honesty, and I know that's difficult, and it's one of the challenges that I have. Like, I try not to bring up my past relationship in a new relationship, but anybody who I date, a few people have watched the show and they've gone back, watched the show, and then questions do arise about my relationship with him. So, it is what it is, but I'm not gonna lie to somebody. But I actually, my hope in life would be that I find that type of love again. Like I pray for that type of love to experience that again, because I think when you have that type of love, it's a beautiful thing for someone to see you at your core and for you to see them at their core. And outside factors are the reason we're not together. It isn't the lack of love, but we just were not right for each other in this space and time, but we gave each other what we needed to do for the 3 years we were together. And I feel like I am so blessed to have met him, because I was able to truly see the true definition of being in love with someone. And I think that is the most beautiful thing. So when I hear women running away from it or saying, "Oh, my last relationship, it broke up, so I'll never love again," I am so excited for the possibility of finding love. Like I am so excited for the idea of being loved by a Black man and loving a Black man like that again. I think Black love is the most beautiful thing on this earth. I mean, I don't know any other type of love, so other people might disagree, but I think it is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and I look forward to it. So I'm done. There's my TED Talk. There you go. There were some other questions like what was my favorite animal and stuff, but I can just answer the people directly. But since this show was about relationships, I answered the relationship questions. So any questions from you twins? And then I will, I'll see if there's any questions from the chat and then we can wrap up.
Any questions? Not really. Maybe not for this show.
I'm an open book. It is episode 175. So I done all my business.
Right. But we have other conversations that's not me and her in love, but we talk about other stuff too. So I'm gonna save it for after the show. But I mean,
I'll ask a question. Since we're both, we're not, for the purposes of it, we're not married, and so we're single, right? So I'm just gonna say, as two single people now navigating new relationships or new dating scenarios, what, from your perspective, and I'll answer from my perspective after, what do you find is the biggest challenge that you've had dating since your divorce?
So being married for a long time does have its pros, right? Not cons, pros, because you know that person, you know everything about that person. You want to So now you're back in the field again, and you got to start all over for everything, and then also not saying forget your ex, whatever, but don't, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh no, that's her favorite color. My bad. Because it's just, I was with this person 14 years of my life. You understand what I'm saying? So, and some people don't have relationships that go past 5 years. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just a challenge of just trying to relearn swan all over again, and things that I would say or do, and my ex wouldn't get mad, but now this new person may get mad. Like, I'm not. It's not about comparing. It's just about it's starting over, right?
Yeah.
The whole process over. And things that wasn't an issue are now issues. I'm like, what? I never had this issue before, but I'm dealing with a whole new person, right? Yeah. So it's the more effort you have to put in now. Yeah. You have to factor in too now. Like, now I'm a dad with 2 kids. So now it's like, do I feel like putting all this energy into someone brand new? And then now my tolerance is even lower now. Sometimes I'll entertain, like, I got 2 kids to worry about. So if that's a problem, you know what? This ain't gonna work out. That's fine. Like, I'm quick to cut one off now. Respectfully. I'm kind of like, this ain't gonna work out.
Preach. Preach.
So that's the difference now, because I'm older, definitely older, not younger. So I'm tired and don't have the patience. I mean, I have patience, just for not nobody who's a grown adult, who's supposed to be adult, but who's acting like a little kid, if that makes sense.
Makes a ton of sense. I'm going to share the same. My biggest challenge has been, like, I like being in a relationship. And not only do I like being in a relationship, I like living together. Like, I love cohabitation. I love waking up to someone. I like going to bed to someone. I love that moments of missing each other throughout the day when you come through the door, like the happiness and joy that you feel seeing each other. I miss those laughs that you have, you know what I'm saying? Like, those moments that you have that are just yours, right? I miss all of that. And so my challenge is learning someone over again and then not comparing them to what I had before. Like, I'm like, yeah, I don't like this. Like, he wouldn't have done that. I guess. I mean, sure. Yeah. I mean, you're your own person, but like, I have to learn you, and I'm tired. I don't want to do it. And then I have to you're right. I have to remember, like, your favorite color and what you like and what you're allergic to, because those things matter to me. Like, what you're allergic to, what foods don't you like? Like, I always ask my man what foods they don't like and what they're allergic to, so that if for any reason, like, we're out at a restaurant and he loses his mind and forgets and he orders something, like, babe, you can't have that, you're allergic to it. Or, like, our having a meal, and what meal does he want that I want to cook? He's like, the first time I cook him his meal, I want to cook him his favorite meal. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, was there a recipe his grandma or his mom used to make that, like, he really likes? And then I'm actually gonna go and do it. Like, I don't know how to make it, I'm gonna go figure it out, right? Like I'm gonna go find a recipe. Like I'm that woman, and have to do that for somebody again. Oh my gosh, like I'm tired.
Trust me, I get it. It's funny too because my ex and then my new friend now, they both don't eat pork, right? Okay, easy. That's
easy for you.
But with my ex, I know what she likes to eat though. So I know she don't like pork, but I know what she likes to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't have to. I just like, are you hungry? Yes, and I just get the food. This new one, okay. You want to eat pork? Cool. What you want to eat? I don't know, babe. Whatever you want, just make a decision. No.
No.
I'm tired. It's been a long day. You know what I'm saying? Like just tell me you want to eat, and I don't care. You can pick the location. I will find something on the menu that I would eat.
Yeah.
Just what you want. Don't say, oh, it's whatever you want. But I might want a Chick-fil-A and that's it. But you don't eat chicken. Okay, so what? Get you a bowl of macaroni and cheese now? I'm just saying, it just things. And then, like I said, now that I'm older, I don't have time. Like, just tell me what you want, and I get it. But anyway, yeah.
I appreciate that, and I think another one for me is I'm also at that like fun stage of my life, right? Like I had a child at 21. I am 45. My daughter's going to be 24 in September. Right? Like I'm in this fun stage. Like I'm trying to be out there, travel, do the most. And that can be a little bit of a challenge too, right? Like depending on the person I'm with, because they're in a different stage of their life. So it's also finding someone who's kind of in the stage of the life that I'm at, because I don't want to be bogged down with PTA meetings and stuff, like not to be selfish, but I've been there, I've done that, I'm tired. Like I've driven across country for different things. My daughter's a competitive dancer and she played AAU basketball, and she went to an art school. So my time was like so like structured, plus having a high profile job, and like I'm so now I'm just like, I'm trying to be out there. I'm out there, like where are we going, where are we traveling to, what ball game are we seeing, like what are we doing? And I don't want to hear about your family drama and your family issue. I don't care. Like and I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just at that phase. I'm like, where's the fun? And if you're not bringing the fun, I don't. And that's hard for me. Like, so I don't know. This is where I have to, where I said I have to work on some things. I'm going to work on some things. Because I'm trying to have fun.
No, I'll give you, I'm with you on that. Because I kind of plan my life out, honestly. And you know that I'm divorced. I still have my kids at 30 for a reason. So when I hit 50, my daughter, she'll be 20. So then my son be 18. So, hey, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? So that because 50 is not old, and I'm 43.
So, absolutely not.
Right. So in 6 years, I won't be kid free all over again. That's how I planned it. So I'm with you on that. I ain't got time to go to meetings and parents. Like I did this already with my 2.
Yeah, I'm tired. And you got 2. I got 1, and I'm already like no, like. Especially again when we got busy kids and they're doing, like my daughter was doing a lot. She's still doing a lot. Like still a lot I have to attend, and she's 23. So I am just feel like, where's the flight? Where are we going? Let's have fun. I know we have aging parents and all this stuff, but I'm just trying to like live my best life and make up for some years. So yeah, that's anyways. Like I'm dating and relationships, new relationships excite me. But I also know that I'm also the cutoff queen, and that's now a big issue where I'm just like, gotta go. Okay. She's a runner, she's a track star. I'm out of here. I'm on a clock, and it sounds horrible. And this is why I tell women, do not have sex until you're in a relationship, right? Like I can proudly say I'm not out there giving up my patty hoo-ha, because unless I'm in a relationship with you, you don't get anything. You get nothing. You get nothing. So this has been on very much on lockdown, but I'm also know that I don't have time to waste. And that's, I think, the part that like scares me too, because again, in my 20s, I was married in my 20s. My early 20s before I got married, and then after I separated from my husband, I felt like I had all the time in the world. And I guess this is what some of the, what you guys, the red pill community talks about, women like me who feel like they wasted their years. And I definitely didn't waste my years, but because I like coupling, I like being a couple, and I don't want to waste anybody's time. Like I'm just quick to just I gotta go. Yeah, yeah. This is why you guys are gonna see some behind the scenes of my life, because Jesus, Father, it's out there. Here is another question for you. What do you look forward to now that you're kind of back on that dating, like, new relationship? What do you look forward to in the future?
Of course, to be married again, right?
Oh,
And
I love that.
and definitely have that life partner. Like, this is it. Like this, I'm not going through a whole nother divorce again. And of course,
Me either.
I'm definitely we're doing a prenup too, regardless.
Ooh,
But
thank you.
yeah. No, I'm not the guy who can keep taking half my ish. No, I'm not that guy.
Very pro prenup. I'm very pro prenup and cohabitation. I also would even add in a cohabitation agreement, depending on if your state recognizes common law relationships. But I digress.
Got it. Yes. So definitely gonna do that, but definitely need that companionship, somebody to build with and get old with.
Love that.
Someone on the same plan, want to do business stuff, enjoy life.
I love that. I absolutely love that, because we hear this fear Black men don't want to get married and this, that, the next thing, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to be honest, and let's see, because people already be talking about us. I actually hope I meet a man like you. That I was thinking about it the other day. I'm honest. Like, I was thinking about it the other day, and I was saying, if I had to meet a man, I'd want a man like Twins, who went through the fire, went through the storm, and still came out with such a positive attitude towards marriage. Just because that marriage didn't work doesn't mean like he's completely closed off. And for me, I think that's where I was. Whereas, like, if I met like a divorcee who missed being married, right? Like, who was just like, I love the concept of marriage. I love the idea of marriage. Yeah, I kind of went through it. I'm divorced, but I look forward, and I'm being intentional about, what I learned from my last marriage as I look for my future bride, right? There's this intentionality without fear. That's the type of man I'm looking for.
So let me give you the cheat code. So you want a guy who was divorced, right?
Yes.
Who got divorced that wasn't his. It wasn't something that he wanted. That's number one.
Ooh.
Okay. One.
Good point.
Number two.
Love it.
He didn't cheat. Okay.
Yeah, I don't do cheaters. No,
I'm saying that, but these are guys these are the divorces you want to not go after, but that's when you find out you got divorced. So why you divorced? These are the things you want. These are the guys. So once again, he didn't want to be divorced. Number two, he didn't cheat. Number three, there was no physical abuse.
No, I'm with you. I'm writing them down, but I get you. Mm-hmm.
Number four, there was no financial abuse.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. That's important.
That is a good one.
Okay.
That is a good one.
So those things right there, if you met a guy who had got those four traits, he's definitely want to be married again. Because at the end of the day, he did everything he could do, right? And it was out of his control. Because the legal system, you as a woman, you can wake up any woman in the world can wake up right now and be like, you know what? I'm not happy. I want to be married, and that's it. The dude could be doing everything he can do. He could be paying the bills, picking the kids up, X, Y, Z. If the woman's not happy or feels some type of way, she can get a divorce, and that's it. So that's why yes, did I get dragged from my divorce? I did. It was life, but that was that situation. Mm-hmm. But also at the same time, I know what I could have did better in that relationship. So that's why I know if I get married again, it's gonna be for life. I'm still gonna do a prenup because I ain't playing on games. But I know what to do better now to be a better husband than I was the first time. Because I was young. I was in my young 20s with no experience. Now I'm in my 30s with the experience. So yes, I'm gonna be a better husband, better everything else that I wasn't. But once again, those four things I just said to you, I didn't do those things. So I didn't cheat. I wasn't an abuser. I wasn't financial abuse. Everything I just said, that was me. So that's why I'm open to get married again. Because now if I was out in the streets and I got caught cheating, you know what I mean? No, I want to get married again because I want to be for the streets. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Or I'm a guy who beat my wife up. Yeah, no, I want to be married again. So those guys don't want to be married again. But a guy who didn't want to be divorced, like, I can't believe I'm here. They'll get married again. So yeah, that's why.
No, I appreciate that because again, intentionality is so important. And I do believe I am a big believer, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm a big believer that when a man knows, he knows.
That's a
When a
fact.
man meets a woman, then she's hitting all the benchmark. He's not going to drag you for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, how many years talking about, babe, let's see where things go. He's going to be very intentional about where things are going.
Listen, I told my wife, ex-wife, on conversation day 3, whatever day that was, I told her, you're my wife.
Ooh.
That was April of 2009. We got married December 2009.
God damn.
Yeah. I mean, of course, we moved in October, November, each other. But the point of the story is that once you know, you know. Just that simple. Now, some people may say, well, that might be the reason I got divorced because it was so fast.
First of all, you were together for 14 years.
You took the words right out my mouth. That's I said, okay, I understand that, but I could see if that was 5 years in divorce. I was married for 14 years and got 2 kids out of it. Clearly, it wasn't that bad. Clearly, it wasn't that bad the whole time. You understand what I'm saying? Like, what we talking about? Make it make sense. Now, granted, did it end how I wanted it? No, it didn't end how I wanted it. But the point is that there was still awesome, great times during our relationship. Not just the kids.
14 years.
Not just the kids.
Mm-hmm.
We had great bond. I mean, we still talk and joke all the time now, right? So we still have a good relationship bond there. But the point in time make is that if a man's intentional, he see what he wants, he's gonna make it happen, regardless.
1,000. Thank you. And I'm glad you agreed, and I'm glad you shared that, because there's a lot of us women out there wasting our time talking about, oh yeah, he's, he just needs to see more from me, and he's telling me he's going to see where things go. Yeah, until he meets the person he really wants to be with, and then you are gone. Like, let's stop being ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that when I have conversation with other adults my age, and they're telling me they've been living with their girlfriend or their boyfriend over 5 to 7 years, I'm like, you're not married? I said, I refuse to be playing house all that time. I refuse. No. We're not roommates, because that's what you are, a roommate. Because girlfriend, boyfriend hold no weight, especially if you live together. If you're girlfriend and boyfriend and y'all live together, that title means nothing, because he can leave when she wants to. There's nothing holding y'all together. But that marriage, though, you gonna fight. You gonna stick around a little longer. But yeah, I would never play a house with anybody like that. 5, 7 years. And once again, you heard me say it before, you may not even get a year out of me. If we living together, you ain't gonna get a year. Put a ring on that. You mind?
What are we doing? Because what are we doing? What are we doing? And this is why boundaries and standards are so important. And ladies, I'm talking to you, ladies of an older age. We're aunties now, apparently, although I don't look like nobody's auntie here, but we're aunties now. So to the aunties, to the single aunties, we're out here trying to navigate these streets. I get it. We're tired. It's a lot. We're also competing with women in their late 20s and early 30s and all of those things, but it doesn't mean that your standards go out the window. Be firm on who you are, say what you want, and call it a day. Don C says it does not take a year to know if you want to marry someone. Thank you, Don C. That is true. The men are talking, ladies. It does not take this amount of time to know if this is the person. And welcome, by the way, Dan C. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. This is not our regular time, so if you're gonna join us, please please subscribe, share the show, and set up your notifications, because we're normally on Thursday at 9. And I think and this is why I say to ladies, 1, come and watch this show, but 2, listen to men. Go to where men are having conversations online and listen to those conversations among men, sensible men. Let me be very clear. Sensible men who are having sensible conversations, not trolling men, but sensible men who are having sensible conversations about relationships online and hear what it is that they're actually talking about. Find out the values that they're looking for in a woman. Women, we get triggered by this question, what do you bring to the table? Stop letting questions trigger you. Going back to the pop the balloon, women pop the balloon on a guy because he asked that question. I thought it was a valid question. The man said, if I pay all the bills and you have no concerns, what else do you bring to the table? It is a valid question because that is a dream for all of us. Our dream, let me be clear, men, all women's dreams is that you pay all the bills and we have no concerns.
And the cheat answer to the question, ladies, is peace.
Thank you. Loyalty, support, trust. Not cook. The man didn't say cook and clean and be a maid. I think there's a lot of women get triggered because that's what they hear. They think, oh, he wants me to cook and clean. The man even clarified it and said, she's like, well, I don't want to say just cook and clean. He said, I got that taken care of, babe. We're going to restaurants and we have a housekeeper. I said, I tingled down there. I tingled. I said, oh, not all the right answers. That's what we all want. So this is what I keep saying. As women, we're instead of learning and using this space called the internet to learn about what the man you wants.
You know what? Peace and loyalty, that's huge. The loyalty is very huge because the social media, you know, women like to spill the tea about things they did and think is cute, right? Which is like cheating and doing stuff like that. You think to spill tea like it's cute. And men sitting there listening. I'm just like, so I'm out here busting my ass, XYZ, giving the best life that I can give to you. But a guy out there who's not even doing nothing I do is blowing your back out all day.
Blowing your back out on a girl's trip. Yeah, I remember that clip you sent me.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So it's like, yes, that loyalty's matter because if I'm not working, I don't want to be at work worry about what you're doing. No. That's one thing I could say positive about my ex-wife. There was never a time in my relationship that I had to worry about any loyalty issues. She went on trips, didn't care. She went on vacations without me, didn't care. She would go hang out with her friends. Wasn't all the time though. She was a homebody as well. But never one time that I had the feeling like she had to mess around with someone else. I need to follow her down. I need to track her down. No. Matter of fact, they be telling them like, hey man, just go out, hang with your girlfriends. I got the kids. They good. They're all right. They with daddy. Go. You and your mom, go and get your nails done. Go, just go, bye, leave, spa day. Just go.
My ex used to tell me the same thing. There would be times he's like, babe, why don't you go out like and go find a friend that you can hang with? I'm like, no, I'm fine. Like, whatever. I have friends back home in Toronto. If I want them, they'll come visit. He's like, no, babe, please. Like, go. Because he knew he had nothing to work. I could sit in a bar by myself and chat it up with people and get in and tell him exactly what happened. And we cackle it up and go on our way, right? Like loyalty and peace and trust. Like, I think we're forgetting the foundations of a real relationship, not a social media relationship, okay? A real relationship has certain values, and those values have not changed since the 1800s, the 1700s, the 1600s. Those values are not going to change. Loyalty in a relationship is not going to change. Being trustworthy in a relationship is not going to change. Being able to find peace within yourself, and therefore you will. And that's the thing, ladies, when a man says, be my peace, he's also saying, make sure that you have that peace within yourself, because a chaotic woman will never be peaceful for a man. A chaotic man can never be peaceful for a woman. So first of all, I need you to have peace within yourself, and understanding that you have peace within yourself, that means that you're going to bring further peace. You have to remember, when you get into a situation, you're supposed to enhance it. You increase it. You multiply it. That is the whole point. And so therefore, if you're bringing something already, it is an addition to, not a subtraction from. We need to stop getting triggered. I'm over these triggered, and everything's a trigger, and we hear things online and a man says something and you automatically triggered. You know what? Here's another T word: therapy. Take that. Therapy. Instead of triggered, let's go to therapy.
Yes, and get therapy. Just go get therapy just for your triggers. Like you shouldn't get bent out of shape if someone says something. Like you should not be ready to jump a bridge or no, he didn't, and try to go off and try to correct somebody because they said something that you didn't like. Because at the end of the day, and we know as men, when your boss tell you, "Hey, I need you to do this extra workload," okay, sir. Ain't no, you ain't gonna tell me to do it. Ain't none of that. For black women, you don't do that. So simmer down. Simmer down.
Why did I make a very similar comment on a post? I'm going to get to what Dan said in a second, but I left a very similar comment on a post. A woman was telling a very funny story about how her friend's man pays all the bills, including for her hair, her nails, and everything. So she says, it's her best friend. She said, so they invited her to lunch and she went to lunch and the best friend picked a fight. She was like, it was a stupid fight. You picked a fight. And her boyfriend looked at her and said, shut your broke ass up. And her girlfriend turned around to her and said, can you believe what he just said to me? And she said, yeah, shut your broke ass up. like, she's like, girl, I only brought $20 for this lunch and you're messing it up. You may not have any lights because you have no job. You have no job. This man pays for everything, and the only thing you need to do is not pick a fight and shut your broke ass up. Like, you don't have any place to live. If he kicks you, you've got, like, what are we doing? And I made a comment. I was like, and a lot of women in the comment were missing the point. It was very funny, and they were getting triggered. And I said, it's so funny how much of us have so many words for our men, but not those same words for our disrespectful bosses. And a lot of us have disrespectful bosses in actions and in words, but we would never do all of this to the person who pays our paycheck, but we'll do the same to the person who pays the bills in the house that we live in.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
So Dan says, and thank you, Dan, women make the mistake by giving the man everything up front, and why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Dan, I would love for you, and I'm actually going to pass it over to Twins. Dan, you're new here. If you wanted to join the show, we're going to be on for probably another 10, 50 minutes or so. Please click the link because I would love to hear your explanation. But can you speak about that a little bit, Twins? When a man says give the milk for free, catch us up on game, because your girl's out here, and I just want to make sure I ain't giving shit away, even though my patty woo-ha is closed down. But I want to make sure that I ain't giving away milk for free. Come on, help me out.
Give away the milk for free, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we talked about this on so many levels. I mean, on what level do we want to expound on? I mean,
I'm listening.
Listen. I'm trying to be nice. I promise you.
This show's called Fuck Your Feelings. You do not have to be nice.
I know. But in a nutshell is that, based on what you just said about the whole work thing, right? Or, I mean, I'll keep it relationship because we're all about relationship, right? So that's what I can give to you is this. You gave a guy a baby who did not give you a ring. So the guy that wants to be everything for you, husband, provider, all that XYZ, and as you just stated in your story, you go out to eat and you won't pick an unnecessary fight argument for no damn reason, knowing your ass is broke, right? You ain't got no money, you ain't got a pot to piss in. And then you out in public being loud and disrespectful, causing a scene. We already know the stigma. We already know the stigma of Black women that y'all loud and y'all get together. It's a fight about to happen because they seen all you love and hip hop girls get together, and now every time y'all go somewhere, everybody's scared you gonna fight, right? So why are you making a scene? And on top of that, you with me. So why you're embarrassing us now? It's not about you XYZ. Now you're embarrassing us as a whole. Because if I'm your man and you are getting loud and acting all out of character, you make them both of us look bad now. You understand what I'm saying? But where was that energy at when you gave the dude? I mean, did the dude you gave your baby? Did he take you out? Did the guy that you gave a baby to? Did he ever take you and your girlfriend out to eat and was going to pay for it? And I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. But because I'm that guy that accepted you and your child and your girlfriend, and I'm taking you and your girlfriend out to eat, and you want to act a fool, how dare you? The nerve of you. You don't have to be here. Clearly, if I'm funding everything, you don't need to be here. I can go get me a young 20-something
Not
fresh
the
off the plantation, and hey, give her the world. You understand what I'm saying? So that's an example of, giving up. You give up for free, and now you win the world. So yeah, that's in a nutshell for me.
Well, ladies, like I said, go to the side of the internet where the men are talking and listen. I know women, it's this new sisterhood and words like pick me, like it is so dumb. I want to be chosen. I've been chosen. It's a comfortable place. When you are chosen by the man that you want, let's stop the bullshit. It's to stop the fake sisterhood. We want to be chosen by the man that we want. We all want to be chosen. It was draft night last night. Okay. I missed it. I was doing something else. I missed the draft. Right. But again, okay, if there are 32 teams or 30 teams or whatever the number is, and you get selected in the first round for the man you want, this is the man. This was everything. You've worked hard. You educated yourself. You ate well. You exercised. Your body looks great. Your skin looks great. You got on a good weave or naturally long hair or short hair. I don't care. Don't get triggered. You've done the thing. You are ready. You are in the draft, and your man stands up there. And he is everything you have imagined and you wrote down on a piece of paper and carried it in your purse. Okay? He is there. And he says, with my selection, I pick. And it's you. All the women there, they're all like, oh my God. And he picks you. Let's not pretend we are not happy. Let's not pretend we are not happy. And when you get that pick, you do not want to be traded. There is nothing worse than a player getting comfortable in the city that he's in, and he's sitting there at All-Star Weekend, and his agent whispers in his ear. We all remember that moment. I'm a huge ball fan, just in case you didn't realize. You were sitting in All-Star Weekend, and you were having the time of your life, and your agent whispers in, and for ladies would be our best friend, whispering that you just got traded. So you gotta get uncomfortable. Now you gotta move. You gotta move your things out. Your bills aren't getting paid. Your nails look like mine because you had to take them off because you're broke now. Because your man paid off the bills and you were just spending your money doing whatever. Let's stop pretending that's the life we want. None of us want that. And I'll be honest, none of us pretty women want that. None of us women who get up and go to the gym and work out and drink our water and avoid sweets and avoid alcohol and do all the things we're supposed to do and educate ourselves and read books and do all that. We want to be chosen. So stop with the fake sisterhood and calling women pick-me's and all that bullshit when we all want to be chosen by the man that we want. And a lot of them are over 6 feet with 6 inches and 6 figures. Like, I hate that whole thing, but that's the reality. That's what we want. And when you get one, I fumbled a bag or two. I won't lie. And it sucks. It fucking sucks. It sucks. I'm not going to ever lie. My show's called Fuck Your Feelings for a reason. When you fumble that bag, it sucks. And you got to start over. And you got to figure it out. So ladies, stop pretending because nobody wants to buy a dog and die alone. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. So let me think of one final question as we end season 7 with a bang. Let me think of a question. As I'm thinking, maybe you have one, twins. I'm like trying to cheat and go to see if I can find a question real quick.
Real quick, huh?
Real quick.
Yeah. I wasn't prepared for tonight for questions. My apologies.
It's okay. Oh, this was one that was causing a bit of a stir on social media. And so I'm going to ask it as two divorced people and one recently divorced. Do you believe that marriages should have renewals, like we have to renew our driver's license?
Yes, I totally agree. The marriage license is the only license. When you look at gun license, driver license, marriage, nurse license, everything got to get renewed for some reason. But for some reason, the marriage license is the only license in the world that does not need to be renewed. I said this before on another podcast. I think every 5 years, yeah, when it comes up to that anniversary date, hey, are we going to do it another 5 years or are we going to be done? Anybody walk away scot-free? Now, in between that time frame, right? Year 3, year 4, or year 6, 7, if you divorce, then it's the same process it has always been. But every 5 years, you get to sit down at the table and evaluate things. And I promise you, more relationships will work out much better. Because 5, 10, 15, 20, because we get to sit down. Okay, so we're gonna do what we're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna continue what we got going on. Everything good. Each side's gonna work harder to keep it together. So yeah, I agree with that. It should be renewals. Definitely, I totally agree.
So I'm gonna say yes, with the preface. I think at the end of the day, every day you're choosing to be together. And I think that's the part that we ignore in committed relationships and in marriages. Every day is a new day and every day is a choice to be with someone. And I believe you should be doing relationship check-ins. And realistically, in my old relationship, I had a relationship contract. We had a contract. We were very clear about certain things and we had certain guidelines and people thought it was weird. But when circumstances change, like when he had a job change and like financially our home had more money, then we would look at what that relationship contract was and we would make changes. So it wasn't a static thing, but we made changes and we always had relationship check-ins and we had, very open dialogue about, let's talk about what's going well. Let's talk about what's not going so great and where we have actual areas for improvement, right? Like, guess what? You do a PIP at work. You do performance reviews at work. Can we go back to the work thing again? We do performance reviews at work. Twins and I have been in the corporate world for over 20 years. We have been through numerous reviews. And based on your reviews, you get promoted, you get a raise, whatever the case might be, right? It's performance-based. So why do we shy away from the fact that marriage is the biggest performance we will ever have in life? I want my next husband to keep me forever and ever. I don't want my daughter to have to put me in a home where some nurse's aide, one of these young, dumb kids have to wipe my ass. I want that to be my husband, or that he got somebody he trusts to wipe both of our asses, or we're wiping each other's ass. But I do not want to be in a home with these young, dumb kids having to take care of me because I mismanage my vagina. I'm very honest. Season 8 is going to be my season of complete transparency. Now that I'm not transparent already, but like it is serious. Like I feel like we keep talking about like how amazing single life is and we're lying. We are lying. Ladies, stop lying. Most of us are not happily single. We are happy within ourselves and we happen to be single, but this idea that I'm happily single and a man brings so much stress, then why do you keep choosing men who bring stress? Why? Why are you giving yourself to a man who keeps giving you stress? Because there's a lot of stress-free men out there. Lots of them. They're living and women are living. We see it all the time. I experience it. My friends have very stress-free lives with their husbands. Like they're not having at least not enough stress that they're bringing to the group. Do you understand? Like, it has to be so much stress that my best friend's like, yeah, I'm sick of my husband. She's been married 10, 12 years now. I think I've heard one complaint about her husband in 10 years, 12 years, whatever long it's been. They got my 11 years. One complaint about her husband that she felt enough to bring to the group. She's been my best friend for almost 30 years. So trust me, there are women living really good, stress-free lives because they chose. Just like men choose us, we do choose them too, because regardless, we're the ones with more options. Ladies, stop making it believe I have more options. Now, I don't choose who marries me, but I'm not going asking men for dates. I'm not generally popping in a man's DM saying, let me fly you out. I'm not the one going to men and say, are you available this day to this day? When I say why, they're like, because I want to fly you out, because I want you to do that. I'm not doing any of that. So I have lots of options. And I also can say no to men who do not fit the criteria that I want and only give my energy to the men who do. So stop acting as if we end up in these relationships with these terrible men. And it's like, oh, we didn't have a choice. No, you had a choice. But Dan actually makes a really good point. And Dan, thank you for joining, because this is what I'm going to end the show with. And I know Twins and I, we've talked about this. And Dan, again, thank you for helping me wrap this show up. This is the problem with a lot of dating right now. A lot of people have unrealistic expectations or pick people out of their league. I know some of you women are going to get triggered by that word league, but follow us. They want people who are in shape, but they are not. Foolishness. Now, another triggering thing for ladies, Kevin Samuels. I've said his name a couple of times. Love me some Kevin Samuels. Rest in peace, Uncle Kevin. He used to have these conversations with men that women missed. I didn't. I saw several episodes where Kevin Samuels would get into men's asses, and he literally would say, pick a struggle. You can't be broke and fat. You can't be short and poor. Right? Like, he would say to them, if you want this type of woman that you're talking about, because everybody wants a baddie. Let's be clear. Every man, and listen, every man's definition of a baddie might be differently, but they all want a baddie on their arm. They want to spend their money on a baddie. If they're going to work all day and deal with the white man and everything they got to deal on the outside, they want a bad woman, whatever their definition is at home, for be the reason they go home and the woman they spend their money on. So let's be clear. Sometimes someone is out of your league. However, a lot of us as women, we can change that. Men don't get to change their heights. They get to change their finances. They can change their bodies, but they can't change their height. And I'm sorry, short kings. I apologize on behalf of the sisterhood. I won't apologize for myself because it's just what it is. But as ladies, men don't care for 4'11", 5'2", 5'5". I have never met a man who's then like, oh, you're 5'5". Can't date you. Like, never in my life. We can change our education. We can go and be well read. We can go and take etiquette classes. We can go to the gym. We can change our diet. There's so many things that as women we can do to be more desirable to the men that we want. Men generally have to either get in shape and make more money. That's usually what a man does. Gets in shape, makes more money, yes, gets educated to some extent, but you're generally making money because you're educated. I don't generally date men who are not educated, right? So there's only so many things that men can do. Women, we can get weave, we can get shortcuts, we can do all of these different things to transform ourselves. So ladies, I'm telling you, if there's a man that you want and you are currently out of your league, figure out what is it that I need to do to get in the game. Get in the game. And get in the game. What is the game? What's the game you need to get in? The men are talking about it. They're talking about it here. They're talking about it in other podcasts. Listen, take notes. I take notes. I'm in the game. Okay, I take a note. What you said? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Learn some sports. I happen to love sports, but I watch basketball. I watch football. I watch baseball. I don't even like So you guys call it soccer, we call it football in Jamaica. But I didn't even like soccer, but I watched that too. I've watched darts. I learned poker. Okay? I watched the draft. I do all of these things. One, I will learn to play the video game. What was it called? Oh, babe, let me sit down. Can you show me how to play it? This is a game. And if you want to be in the game, you got to figure out the rules of the game. Get in the game. Twins, feel free to share. I should put that back up.
Now you pretty much hit everything on top of the nail right there. Get in the game. Just that simple. I have no fault to everything you said.
Love that. Oh, Mr. Mister, I see you. I see it. We were ready to come up and people are coming back. Dancy says, no, I have been for 16 years. What does that mean? Sorry, I'm seeing different. Okay. Dancy also says women make the mistake like, okay, blah, blah, blah. That we already read. Mr. Mister, Western culture has accepted mass psychosis as normal. All these antisocial people thinking they're not. That's why they keep picking all these terrible people. Stop this. Get outside. That basically means, in Mr. Mister's term, get outside. That is advice that I am taking in this new season, is being outside, meeting people, interacting. We live in this very sedentary world, working from home, a lot of us, and all the different things. Get outside. Go to the places that the men or the women that you like are going to be. Go and enjoy the things that you like to do. Go to the sports bar. Like, you don't actually have to go to an actual game. Go to a sports bar in your city and go watch the sport and check it out. Ladies, you'd be surprised how many single men are there.
Especially the wing spots.
Oh, yes, wings. And if you don't eat wings, ladies, figure it out. I don't know. Eat the fries. I don't know. Figure it out.
Celery. They got celery.
Think of celery and some carrot sticks. I don't know. Here is a thought. Here is the last thing. And Dan, I'm going to read the question, and then Mr. But I'm going to ask this question. I want you to think on this for a second, and then I'm going to read these comments. What are your thoughts about a woman offering a man a drink? Hold that thought. Let me see. Dan C. My husband is my best friend. We talk about, and I'm sorry. Hopefully I've been calling you a male. I'm so sorry. My husband is my best friend. We talk about what we need. We talk about generational curses. We both came from broken homes in one-parent households, but we chose to do better. Love that. Love that. Mr. says, Kevin Samuels is our everlasting example of why men choose not to tell women the truth. He said out loud what most men think, and then we saw the backlash he got.
Absolutely right.
And I love me some Kevin Samuels. Listen, I'm Jamaican. We say, well, if you've ever been around a real Jamaican family and you have insecurities, God bless you. I wish you well, because a Jamaican grandfather, grandmother, mother will tell you just how it is. And so any of my Jamaican friends, not one of them had a problem with Kevin Samuels. They may not have liked it, but they didn't get offended by it. They're like, that's just another day in a Jamaican household. But I digress. We are not sensitive people. Anyhow, so going back to the question, what do you think about a lady making a first move and offering a man a drink as a way to stand out from the rest?
They should absolutely do it. Not just drinks, whatever. Make the first move. I mean, we're now in this movement where men will forever be attracted to ladies, right? Always attractive. But now we're in this new Me Too movement where you don't want to say something because you want to be the one's HR or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You make things so hard. Like, it's to the point where a girl could be at a gym working out and she could be struggling with something, but dude don't want to help her because he won't be on my Instagram talking about, oh, it's gym creep over here. And so it's like,
yeah.
Go. So more the story is, yes, make the first move. You ain't gotta do it all the time. I mean, you can do, get a little drink and then see what he does. He may say, babe, you know what, babe, thank you for the drink, but here's the money for the drink, and him buy you a drink, and then let's have this conversation. It's okay.
I love that. Now, how do you do it? So my follow-up. how do you do it without coming off desperate? Because I think that's a bit of a fear from some women, especially, let's be serious, as an attractive woman, we're not used to having to do much of anything, much of anything. But in these days, we do have to listen, I know I have to compete a little bit more than before the World Wide Web opened up and a man can get a woman from anywhere, anytime, and just fly her to him. So how do we make the move without coming off desperate?
Listen, this is for the grown men, okay? The mature men here. If a lady bring me a drink up, I'm smiling the whole night. It's unless you now read the room, ladies. Read the room, okay? Make sure you read the room. Don't be Big Bertha trying to buy me a drink. I don't care what it is. You can buy the top shelf drink. It ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? Like, read the room, of course. But I'm just saying, if you're an attractive lady, right, and you make eye contact. I mean, first, it all starts with eye contact. And we know how eye contact works. If y'all make eye contact maybe 2 or 3 times,
very true.
It's safe to buy him a drink because we keep locking eyes. And then also, if you lock eyes and smile too, man, go buy a man a drink. And don't don't let him be at the table with his boys. You walk over and do that. Oh yeah, you gonna put him on cloud 100. Trust me.
I love that. And you know what? That is something that I am going to make an attempt. I'm not saying I won't do it, but I'm going to make an attempt to do this summer because I'm outside. I'm going to be outside once I heal from the surgery. I only need a couple more days. I'm outside. And I think I'm going to make that attempt to offer, like ask the waitress, what's that gentleman drinking? And send him over a drink. Or if I sit at the bar, like I said, that I would, probably go to a place by myself and just sit at the bar. And if a good-looking gentleman comes up and, when he goes to order, be like that, I got that one for him, and start a conversation. Because I do agree. I feel like men do need their ego stroke. I get my ego stroke all the time. I'm not gonna lie. So I think it would be nice for me to do that and to engage in conversation. And maybe, ladies, and maybe it's not even a drink. Maybe it's going to Starbucks. Again, Mr. Mr. saying he doesn't drink, right? But maybe it's Starbucks. Maybe it's you go to a certain Starbucks and there's a gentleman and you say, you know what, I got his, or something like that, and then you engage in discussion. I think we're in a space where we do have to compete, and we also as women have to put ourselves out there because I'm not trying to buy a dog and die alone. I ain't doing it. I am not buying a dog and dying alone. Mr. Mistress says, start with a compliment. Most men never get compliments from women. So give a sincere one and start the conversation from there. You can't really go wrong after that.
That's true too. Because also too, you can see, I'm no disrespect to nobody, right? But you make sure that he's a man's man, right? So you're dealing with. You know when somebody starts talking, you can see the mannerism. Like, oh, okay, yeah, he's not. We don't play for the same team. You understand what I'm saying?
Got it. Yeah. True.
Hey, you look handsome. You're like,
true.
Like, thank you. Hit you with that. Thank you, girl. Now you know we dealing with. Once again, this ain't no shade. Just make sure you know who you're dealing with, right? So a compliment will easy. That'd be a great icebreaker because as men, we don't get compliments.
Love it.
Especially out. Now, maybe at work. Oh, nice haircut. Because you see the same people every day, so it's familiar. But as far as strangers, no, we don't get too many compliments.
I love it. You know what? I said that I was going to start giving you guys more access to my journey of finding love. Maybe it's going to be for the love of Shiva or something. And I'm going to start telling you guys more of these things. I am going to start putting myself personally out there to see what's out there. I think my big issue is a lot of my relationships have been long distance. I haven't been in a relationship with someone who lives in the same city or country with me for many, many years. So that's I think new and challenging for me is a lot of my relationships are long distance. But I am absolutely going to try to put myself out there for summer of 2025. I told you guys also, for those of you who are joining, I knew I had to have surgery recently for my fibroids. And so I'm doing a whole lifestyle change. Twins is my accountability partner. I went on the scale and I'm a heifer. I am a beluga whale, and this is the biggest I've ever been in my life. And I'm not big in any regard, but it's as big as I've been in my life, and I don't like it. And so I'm on a journey. July 1st, I'm becoming a pescatarian. I did that already. 4.5 years I was a pescatarian, which means I only had vegetables and fish. I already don't drink. I drink a couple of times a year. If I have 10 drinks in a year, that's a lot of drink. And that's all usually Caribana weekend. So like all of my drinks are contained in like 3 days during Caribana. Okay, maybe 20 for Caribana weekend. But no, I am doing things differently because I want different results. And one of the different results will be maybe me taking a little bit more charge of my own dating life. And I'm going to take these advice that the men have given tonight, and I'm going to incorporate, and then I'm going to report back to everybody here about how things are going. And maybe we'll get Twins to open up more about his life, but y'all know my mouth is runs like water. So you guys will definitely get more. So this is the end of season 7. This is episode 175. Thank you everybody for joining. I am going to start popping on a little bit more often. I need to get the likes and subscribes up, please. Please, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to this channel, like this channel, share it. This content is really good, and the advice that everybody's giving is amazing, not just me and Twins. Thank you everybody for joining. Oh, I see one. Game Life 44. Thank you. I love this. Oh, you're giving me hope. A lady once sent a drink to my table. We have now been married 8 years.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. See?
I'm going to try. I have no problems doing that. And to Twins' point, I think it tells energy. I can tell right off the bat. I think my fear is that I do it and he's like involved or married, and then like I embarrass myself. And how embarrassing is that? Like I'm like sending over a drink to a married man.
I mean, of course, once you make the eye contact, just look for the hand, make sure the left hand's clear. You know what I'm saying? And then if the ring is not on and you do approach and say he's married, like, well, why you ain't wearing your ring? Because you know what I'm saying? That's a problem right there. But yeah. That's a whole nother conversation for another time, though.
I love that. Mr. Mitchell, you guys are keeping us online. Mr. Mitchell said it doesn't matter how big her booty is. If the man will get a hernia trying to carry her out of a burning building, she's going to be some big toasted buns. No buns. First of all, I'm not that big. I said I'm clearly, you know what, maybe I need to stand up, but I'm not that. We all know I'm not that big. But I'm big for me, and I need to make sure that I am ready for my mother-daughter vacation in February, where I'm going to be out in these streets. You guys are about to see. You guys always see me sitting down. So this summer, I'm outside. You guys are going to see a lot more behind the scenes of life in Toronto, life as Toshiba in the summer. Like I'm going to really bring you guys into my life for season 8. Season 8, episode 1 will be next Thursday. And I'm really going to make an effort, like I said, to bring you in to my life. Thank you, Jeff, for enjoying season 7. I'm going to figure out and let Twins know what the theme of season 8 will be. But maybe it's just like embracing and I don't know, renewal. I don't know. I'll figure it out. This season was like relationship chronicles. And maybe it's just relationship chronicles or maybe it's dating chronicles. Maybe we'll do dating chronicles for season 8 and open up a little bit more about our dating life and dating stories and things that are going on in our life. I think that will be interesting, especially mine. Ugh, good God. Okay, before we jump off, let's do our relationship or dating tip. Jeff, I know you're still here. If you've got a marriage tip, we'd love to hear it. For all you married people, because there's a few married people with us tonight, if you have a marriage tip, for those of you who are new, Twins and I are both divorcees. but we both look forward to being married again one day. So for those of you currently married people, would love to hear your marriage tips. But we give dating tips because we're dating. So twins, over to you. What is your dating tip for final episode of season 7?
Final day tip for season 7. So many. Ladies. Yeah, ladies.
Love it.
We kind of just said it, but we won't. I'm gonna use it as a dating tip. Don't be afraid to make the first move. I mean, we just saw today a lady sent a guy a drink, and now they're 8 years together. One little
married.
drink.
Not just together, married.
Yeah, I'm trying to correct that. One drink turned to a marriage for 8 years. Now, think about this. How many free drinks you got and you still not married? Bars! In my Jada voice. I'm just saying. My man got one drink, 8 years later strong. Salute to him and his wife. You had how many free drinks over your whole lifespan and you still single? Gotta try something different. I'm done.
You hit a spot with me for that one, because I've had bottles sent over and I'm unwed currently. So yeah, I am taking your advice and all of the advice. I am going to try something new. Yeah, my dating advice is also to the ladies. Well, you know what? My dating advice is for men and women. Become the person that you want. I'm going to repeat, become the person that you want. I find that we're out there with all of these requirements for our partners, and we don't necessarily meet those same requirements. So if you want somebody who's financially sound, become financially sound and financially educated. If you want somebody who's physically fit, also become physically fit. If you want somebody who's well-read, become well-read. Like, truly become the person that you want so you can meet the person that you want. So that is my dating tip. And I love it. The dating tips are coming in. Let me read them. Game Life 44 says dating tip. Go to an escape room for a first date. LOL, you will see a lot. I actually love that.
That is a fact, though. No. That hold on. Leave that there for a second.
Leave it up? Okay, I'm ready. Okay.
That is a great one because escape room takes critical thinking under pressure because the clock is running. You have certain time frames to go from room to room or task to task, and you get to see the person you're talking to, how they handle the conflict. And if during that time frame y'all get into an argument, yeah, this be the last room that I'm gonna be escaping with you. So, that is a good one. That's a good one.
I love it. I love active things. I've always wanted to do an escape room. I've done like activity dates and stuff, but I love, you're right, critical thinking is important. And how do you work together as a team, right? Like it's complete teamwork. If both of you are trapped in and you have to work together in order to get out, how do you work together as a team? So Game Life 44, come through. Dan C, have open communication, be respectful, and put God first. Amen and amen again. Mr. Dating tip. Recognize patterns. Listen, observe, and ask questions. Then act on what you've learned to build your connection with that person. Stop thinking only about yourself. I love that, Mr. I'm seeing if there are any more. I don't see any more. Well, this was amazing. Thank you for all of our new subscribers and followers and people who came in the chat and joined us. We really, really appreciate this. I started this show, like I said, God, it's been almost 4 years now. I started this show in September 2021 because I did not like the discourse that was happening around Black relationships. I was actually very disturbed by the discourse, and I really created this show to change the conversation around Black relationships. And I think over the last 7 seasons, I've been successful, and twins joined me to do so. And I think together as a team, we've been successful. So we want to see successful relationship. And so please continue to join us. Please continue to share. Like I said, subscribe, like this content, comment on this content. Make sure that people are understanding that Black relationships are beautiful and we can have very successful ones once we start having the right conversation. So I want to thank everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you next week at our regular time, 9 p.m. So next Thursday, 9 p.m. Welcome to season 8. Okay, bye. Good night. Good night.